Russell Lockhart and Steve Madden, and we are here for Real Perspective. Today we're going to review Dune 2 and a movie called Ricky Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki. Fun to say, but yeah.
Right.
So we're going to start with Dune 2, and this is a sequel to, the second part of the Dune series. So we'll start with Dune 2.
Alrighty. Now, Dune 2, okay, this is the new... Man, there's been tons of Dunes. Well, not tons. I mean, I go back with Dune till the 70s. I actually read
Well, it was a 90s, I guess, 80s, 90s one on that one.
With 70s, 80s.
Yeah, so
with
the 80s.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah. So that one was lackluster. It left me. It was very confusing.
We could talk a little bit about that after the review. But the thing is, it's just amazing. Anyway, but yeah. Okay, I'm actually excited to hear this because I'm wanting to see it. Alrighty, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to show you the trailer, as always, and we'll be right back.
It's okay. I'm here. It's been a while since you've had one of those nightmares. Tell me, what was it about?
It's only fragments. Nothing's clear. You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades.
Look!
My family's been fighting them for centuries.
Your blood comes from dukes and great houses. Here, we're equal. What we do for the benefit of all.
Well, I'd very much like to be equal to you.
Maybe I'll show you the way.
Deal with this prophet. Send assassins.
Feyd-Rautha, he's psychotic.
I see possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through. My allegiance is to you. Do you believe me?
This is a form of power that our world has not yet seen. The ultimate power.
I want you to know I will love you as long as I breathe.
You will never lose me as long as you stay who you are.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides.
This prophecy is how they enslave us! You are not prepared for what is to come.
Alrighty, well.
So it's exciting. So,
Alright.
in case you haven't seen Dune, the first one, I'll just kind of give a quick rundown. This is a noble kid that he was born in nobility. He gets entangled up into a war. So this war is about this thing called spice. Now it's and it's something that is like very rich and they're battling over it. And his family it's his family's legacy, his town, or all of his people. So he's going over there to kind of fight in this war. He also has these premonitions of things happening. So all the way through the first Dune, he sees these things that are happening, these people that he's going to be meeting. He has this premonition on that.
Okay.
So, and he gets that a lot from his mother, and that unfolds as it goes along. So that's what Dune is all about, and it's all about the going over there and getting ready to fight and do all these battles. Now, you see a little bit of it in the first one, The second movie, Dune 2, takes
Okay.
up after one major battle, just picks up right there where it left off, and that's where we're at. Okay, so Dune 2, it's a lot of fun. I'm going to say this is like just a really great adaptation of the book. Now, this is from the book of Denis Villeneuve. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. That's how I know it to be pronounced.
Okay.
But he did this Dune, and it was like this very big, thick, series of books, and I know they tried it earlier on, and to do that back in I think it was the 80s or 90s, it may have been the 70s, but they did that, and it just went over like a lead balloon. The main thing is there's so many intricate things in these, the languages that he tried to bring forth that the book has that he couldn't do back then. Now it just seems like they really did this so well. Brought it together. The characters seem to come alive right there. The main focus, I will say, is the visuals, the battle scenes, the planets, everything there,
worms.
the worms.
Yes.
It's just fantastic. They do such a great job. Of course, nowadays we have the CGI. We have these great techniques to be able to do that.
Yeah.
The actors are top notch. I absolutely love Timothée Chalamet. He's
Okay.
becoming one of my favorite actors. We talked about him
Wonka.
before with Wonka,
Oh,
and
it's
he brought
coming out
Wonka
this
back
week.
to my childhood.
Nice.
Brought from my childhood, so it's great. Zendaya is another one of my favorites. I loved her in just about everything he does, but she did
Well, she did Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
And then she did the one with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, the Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman.
And I thought with Greatest Showman just kind of sensed it for me. That was just a great job. It also had Jason Momoa.
Okay.
And then in number 2, we also see Christopher Walken come in. So I thought that was kind of cool. So it picks up where it left off. You got this big battle on this spice.
Okay.
And so you have a lot of people that have people on the side that they're all trying to get this spice. You're trying to you have people that are trying to kill each other just for this, or the people that of the land are saying, hey, yeah, y'all can do this, but then they start trying to kill people. So you have all these, the deceit, the murder, all this. One of the things that I saw especially as I was watching the second part, I felt it a little bit in the first, but I felt a really big, like a similar connection as I did with Star Wars.
Okay.
This made you feel like Star Wars. It had a little bit of a similar story like Star Wars. I don't want to give all that away because it does, it does unfold more in 2, but it feels a lot like Star Wars, and that made me a little giddy. Now, one of the things that I find interesting about this, and Sonny and I talked about it early on too, because he saw a screening of the number 2 before I did, right about the time I did.
Okay.
And there's a big parallel sort of to the Bible.
Okay.
Now, I say that sort of, I'm going to have to wait to see. I've never read the books. I'll say that, just to be honest. So I don't know how it unfolds, but this second part, they hint on it in part 1, but they really start going and hammering it in part 2. That there is supposed to be this big prophecy that's coming true.
Yes.
Okay? And Timothée Chalamet's character, now his name is Paul Atreides. He is supposed to be the savior of everything.
Yes, indeed.
So we kind of look at, he kind of similar to what Jesus was. So that's what that's why I kind of take the parallel there. Now, the only thing is, and just like Jesus, there are people that are calling him a savior, and there's other side, all these people saying that he's a fake and that all this is all just wives' tale. We see that. We see that in religion. We see that in Christianity. We have a lot of people that we all believe in it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that are going, that's bunk, and this is not true, and it's all just all this. So I felt the parallel between that all the way through this. As the film unfolds, more of that unfolds.
Okay.
But it's just, I don't want to give too much away because it's just such a cool unfolding of the story. I thought they did such a great job. And like I said, the very beginning, the first movie did that as it laid out the kind of what they're looking for and what the storyline is, and introducing the characters. And as 2 unfolds, you see all the storyline of all the battles and everything. And it was just epic. It just seriously made me feel like Star Wars again.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it for that. I'm a little bit apprehensive on how they're going to do the religious part, but I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to that. So if they're not stepping on Jesus or stepping on God and saying gods are not real or God is not real, then okay, I can go along for this ride, and see what happens. So as long as it's going that way, but we'll see what 3 involves and what it does. But that's what I'm looking forward to. Number 3, we've got a little while to wait on this, but right now, Dune 2 is out. It came out this weekend, and it's burning up the charts right now. It's just, like I said, I walked out of there feeling like a kid. I really did. It felt to me a lot like Star Wars, so I really enjoyed it, and the acting is absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
It's from Chalamet, who's just fantastic, to Zendaya. Momoa is one of my favorite actors, but I don't care for some of the stuff he does. He kind of goes over the top.
It was a crossover with Aquaman, wasn't it?
Yeah, no. See, and I didn't have a problem with him as Aquaman. I just had a problem with the whole thing and all the way through on Aquaman. But I've liked Momoa. But like one of the things that we talked about before is like when he did the series that he did, not the Game of Thrones, the one that he did with the racing, Fast and Furious. When he came to Fast and Furious, that part that he did was like a cartoon, like a characterization. Just really, I didn't like that. He just overacted. But in this one, I think he does a really good job in that. But he's not a very big part in it, like I thought he would be.
Yeah.
But Chalamet and Zendaya, man, they were just fantastic.
Look, I see all of Marvel coming. No, I'm kidding. I'm messing around. You got David Bautista, who was...
Bautista's really cool. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's really good in here. Now, I will say this. The very first one, when I saw it, I said, yeah, he's playing the same kind of character he always plays. He's always that same character. However, they let his character become a little bit more developed in number 2.
He was the youngest nephew. Okay, Harkonnen. Okay. My brother and I watched the original old one when it came out.
Yeah.
It was late 70s. So we were in Colorado and watched that. And this is the old one. And there's a lot of comparison done. I'll speak to that in just a minute. You were talking about actors. Florence Pugh, who also is in Marvel.
Yeah.
My goodness. And Josh Brolin, he was Thanos.
Yes, and Brolin came in on the second one, not the first one. Now, Pugh is also, you see her, I kept looking at her going, man, where do I know her from? Why am I not, just kind of when I first saw her? But she was actually in Greatest Showman as well. Because she played the woman the singer, the big singer that he was courting.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Ferguson. Yes,
Ferguson.
That's it.
Now she's Flavor of the Year.
Yeah.
She's been in Mission Impossible, the newest one. Well,
I got the name wrong.
A few of them, but Rebecca Ferguson.
She's also a pivotal part of the second part of this.
Yeah.
And that's another one that I don't want to give it away because of the way they do this. But it's
she plays the mother.
She plays the mother, but there is a lot more intricate storyline with her. And again, that part of it is what's giving me pause. Not that it's bad or anything. It's not bad, but it's giving me pause how they're going to do the Christianity part of this.
Okay, well,
so that's the only thing about that. But her part of this that I don't want to give away because it's a part of the storyline here. It's like a surprise and cool thing that happened. So I don't want to give that away. But she also is, she has that. She gave the gift. She has the gift of seeing the future.
Yeah, she's a seer.
Just like her son is.
Yeah. And he inherited that. She's a Bene Gesserit.
Yeah, Bene Gesserit.
Okay, and okay. Well, I'm gonna. Some of what I've seen. Okay, back in the 70s, you had Kyle MacLachlan who played Paul Atreides in that original one. That movie was so bad. No, I shouldn't say bad.
It really was.
I mean, it really. Well, it was so. But the problem
I think it was
was
just confusing.
people were confused.
Yeah. Yes.
When they went to the movie house to see this, and so what they did, they literally had to develop a new or some sort of an explanatory thing like you put on a documentary, and put it on the front end of the movie so that people would actually understand. They saw all these creatures and and the time travel and the folding of time and all this type of stuff that was going on, and they're just like, huh? And they said like, oh yeah, these guys that are stoned in the back are enjoying it more than we are.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that Villanueva, who wrote the book, he also had a glossary of terms so that you could understand what he was saying. Because he put kind of like Middle Earth, where with that you had these words that the author made up,
and stuff
right?
like that.
So he did the same thing, but it did not come across very well in that first movie.
Okay,
and I didn't feel like that was the problem with it, is that nobody understood. This one does so well that what the first one didn't, and that means that they unfold it and it makes you understand everything.
That's
now
good.
You may not remember the names of his mom, what his mom is, and all these different things, but you get that whole thing.
Did you watch the movie back in the late 70s, early 80s?
I actually, when it came out, back then I watched it. Okay. And actually, that's one of the few movies that we walked out on as when I was younger.
Oh, you did?
Because it was confusing.
It was just too confusing.
I was like going, nobody understood.
I didn't see. There wasn't too much that was offensive, except for
not offensive.
The Baron,
Harkonnen,
who was queer.
Yeah.
And back in the day, and they had some stuff that was, as a kid. Well, I was a teenager.
Yeah.
It was shocking to me. I mean, what they did in that, it was just like, whoa. And they're milking a cat, and I mean, and all this. Don't even get me started.
They don't play upon that much. The only thing right now with this one, what I would say, is more violence, but it's more of
more like a war.
Yeah. So you see a lot of this, but you're not going to see someone like Saving Private Ryan, where you see guts and all this stuff happening. It's not going to happen. This is more like Star Wars type of fighting, where, of course, they're a little bit more accurate in shooting than the stormtroopers ever were. But this is more of a galactic fight. So you just see people get shot and they'll just kind of roll over and be dead, and you don't really see all the blood or anything. So that's not going to be there. Okay. But it is a lot of violence in the war.
Okay, which is fine. Okay, now Frank Herbert was the writer of the book Dune.
Yes.
His son, Junior, I think it was, took over after he passed away.
Did I get the name wrong earlier?
Well, no. What you're talking about, Villanueva was the screenwriter.
Yeah.
So he adapted it to the movie.
Yeah.
And but the thing is that Frank Herbert was the writer of the book. Okay. And there was Dune. There was what was it? There was Dune, and then the next one was Children of Dune.
Yeah, there's a whole series of
them. There's a whole series of books. Yeah,
if I remember right.
Now, and let me go back to my history, because I've watched all of these up till this time.
Yeah.
You have Dune in the 70s, that one. Anyway. And then the Sci-Fi Network adapted Dune and did Dune plus Dune, I think it was Dune Messiah. Okay, or maybe it was Children of Dune, because he did have, and it went on from that point that the book ended, or the first movie ended.
Yeah.
Or back there, they did that again, and then they carried on. Okay. Now this one, from what I'm gathering, the ending is almost like the first book, but it actually goes on. He goes from the planet.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. And then we're going to get the
third one. So it'll be a trilogy. So the third one's coming out. But
I wish they do more. I mean, those books are so good. That's sci-fi.
Yeah.
To me, that's sci-fi.
Yeah.
They like to classify these superhero shows into sci-fi, but they're not sci-fi.
No. But no, this is there'll be 3 of them, but I'm assuming if they all do, they may do well, which it looks like they will be. They may adapt more. And
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, let's ask a couple of questions here about it. Kind of do the rundown.
Okay.
Violence.
It's just like I said. It's like Star Wars violence.
Okay,
it's
Star Wars
got stuff
violence.
like that, and the worms come and eat people, or they'll do that. But it's not like bloody violence. So most of the way,
The age that would start to enjoy this.
I think probably around. I think it's PG-13, so I would definitely say a teenager, 13, 12,
teenager.
13, 14.
Okay.
As always, you know your kids. You know what they would be good with and not good with. My son, when he was 11 or 12, he would probably watch this.
Yeah.
I know other ones that's in my family that probably would be better at 14, 15.
Yeah, I was
So,
somewhere,
but, yeah.
I think it was 14, 14, 15.
I mean, I was watching
The first
B-grade horror movies on TV, but they're TV,
Yeah.
the stuff like that. They're hokey ones, Planet 9 from Outer Space, stuff like that. But I was like 10, 11 years old when I found that those being interesting and fun.
Yeah.
I knew that they were just like, they were so hokey that it made it fun, like Empire of the Ants and stuff like that.
yeah.
So
okay.
I was at that age.
All right.
Nowadays you have to be a little more careful, but this is harkening back to old, like like a Star Wars stuff like
Star
that.
Wars stuff.
So it's
Good.
not like really bad. Not really
Okay,
bad.
nudity and sex.
No.
Okay.
They have a part like Zendaya and Charlamagne's characters are falling in love, and they have a part there that it's not any nudity or anything like that, but they're you know
what's
what
going
happened
on.
and
Okay,
stuff
but
like
they
that.
don't
No, they
graphically
don't show
depict it for you.
No.
And what about the woke gayness?
Nothing
Any of that
woke.
gay,
No, if it was
trends?
minor. If it was, I can't think of anything. The big guy, the main guy that's in there that lives in the mud and the oil, but it's just,
Baron
yeah.
Harkonnen.
Yeah.
I was told the other day that he was supposed to be a gay guy.
but they don't really show that anything in there. They don't really
Yeah.
rely on that. They don't
Okay,
push that.
can I? Okay, I can talk. I'm going to talk about the first movie and what was really offensive as a kid that age. It was shocking, and I don't think that they did this here. I'm pretty sure, so I'm not going to spoil anything. Number one, in the people there that Harkonnen had, the slaves or whatever, they put heart plugs. I don't know where this wacko got this idea.
Yeah.
And if you pull the heart plug, the guy bleeds out and dies.
Yeah.
Right? And then the other thing was that Harkonnen was a floating gay dude, and he assaulted a young boy.
Yeah.
On
They
the
don't
street.
have
That's the
that.
thing.
None of that's in here. None of
Okay.
that's in there. He is still a floating gay guy, but he's not.
He's
they
not-
don't
he
really
doesn't
go.
do that
they
kind
don't.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. They don't
All
do that.
righty. Well, the thing is, that kind of stuff, when I was 14, that shocked me.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, about today, but at the same time, okay, cool. Okay, let's give it your ratings, your reels. How many reels?
Between 1 and 10, I'm going to say a 9. I mean, this is solid. This is real solid. It's I like you said, my only trepidation is that the Christianity one. I'm going to have to wait to see how 3
Let's
works
see.
out. But I, otherwise, I think it's just a solid movie, man. I really
Let me give you all an idea here. Do not try to base your Christian life on what Hollywood depicts.
exactly.
And you'll be in good shape. That's all. That's all I got to say. All righty, fantastic. Thank you for that review. All righty, we're going to go. Let's take a look at this second one. And I'm gonna say it 5 times fast here. Ricky Stenicki. Okay. Let's watch the trailer.
Got it.
Here it is.
Stenicki, what up, man? Are you serious? Have someone call me when you get out of surgery, all right?
You should drive out there. Ricky's been there for you guys your whole lives.
The devil's in the details, my friend. It worked. Atlantic City, here we come.
What we got?
Ricky's cancer's back.
Why does it have to be cancer? Won't everybody get worried?
Yeah, and that's going to take us right into the World Series.
Ricky Stenicki.
The best friend we never had.
My baby's gonna be born 6 weeks early.
I was born 6 weeks early.
Oh, shit.
I want to know where the hell you guys were tonight. We called every hospital and there was no record of a Ricky Stenicki.
You know, all we did was tell one lie.
Hundreds and hundreds of times over many, many years.
If the truth does come out, my marriage is over.
What if we hire an actor to play Stenicki?
Rock Hard Rod, X-rated rock and roll impersonator.
I do a whole act, wall to wall, top to bottom, jizz jams. Thanks for coming out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So horny to be here.
This is a really bad idea.
Oh, Jesus. I've been cold turkey in the booze. Ricky Stenicki's in the program, remember?
Oh, Rod.
It's not what you think it is. It's just piss.
I'm a hyper every time. Now my mouth.
I want you to admit that Ricky Stenicki does not exist.
Hey, mas puka!
This is Ted Summerhays, my boss.
Ted, nice to meet you. Digging the suit and the seedlings, man.
The Seedlings.
The hair plugs, they're new, right?
This is my hair. We're gonna lose our jobs.
That's my best friend. She a real bad one on the dance floor.
Epic night, am I right, guys?
Throw it out and come back in. That's my best friend.
I was really taken with your friend Stenicki. He's got brass balls on him, that guy. That's why I hired him.
That's awesome. You just said... What did you say? Just say it one more time. We can't let him out of our sight.
Not only did I miss the birth of my son, but I let some porno Peter Frampton impersonator snip his...
And we're done.
Stenicki, you are unbelievable.
Show's over, Rod.
It's Ricky.
Ricky Stenicki isn't real.
My job sucked, I had no friends. But now I have all those things.
Are you a fraud, sir?
What's she talking about?
That's my best friend.
We gotta get rid of him. Every time he tries to make a point, it's like he's smoking invisible dogs.
Dear God, it's true.
To support. Now it looks like I'm cupping the balls.
Okay, and there it is. So the main thing on this movie, it's about three boys who, on Halloween night one year, they do a prank on a neighbor. They put the dog poo on there and light it up because this person wasn't giving candy out. And they fastly find out that no one's home.
Okay.
And it catches the whole house on fire.
Burns out a house.
As they're starting to leave, they have this coat, and they said, well, we can't blame it on us. So they started writing somebody else's name in there.
Okay.
And they had Ricky, which is another name, but then he started to put his last name, which is, like, I don't remember, it started with SNI, and he's going, wait, or STI, and he said, no, wait, we can't use that. So he named it Stenicki.
Stenicki.
And from that point on, they realized when they all blamed this Ricky Stenicki, and they said, we've already checked all the schools, and it must be somebody that's out of town and come in here. So they said, oh, we got something. So every time after that, if they did something, they blamed it on Ricky.
Ricky Stenicki.
Yeah, Ricky Stenicki was a fall guy.
Oh, that reminds me of the movie.
So as they go through their life, it kind of gives you a montage of their childhood. Ricky did it, Ricky did it, Ricky did it.
Okay.
But then you flash forward when they grow up. So Zac Efron is about to be married. They're talking about that. They've got a friend of theirs that's about to have a baby. So they are sitting over there and facing a baby, like a baby shower.
Okay.
And he gets a phone call from Ricky Stenicki, and all of his family, all the wives all know who that person is. They've never met him.
Okay.
And they said, oh man, he's facing cancer. And so then they hop on, go leave, because they said, go take care of your friend. And when they get out of there, they're all going to Vegas because they've made this up so that they could go out.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it starts, is that they've used this excuse like multiple times over the years. And as every, lie that happens, is it untangled and started, they didn't know what they told. And even the three friends were like, one of them used Ricky Stenicki's name when the other two didn't know he did it. So all these things are kind of coming out. So when their wives one of the wives goes into labor, then they're caught. Because all these people are going, we called all the hospitals over there, and nobody knew who Ricky Stenicki was, and there's nobody that was at the hospital.
Okay.
So they end up coming clean and saying, well, somebody said it's a fake name. They said, no, it's not really fake. And so they hire an actor that they met in Vegas, and that's John Cena. Now, this is a part of this movie that is very, 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 very R-rated, is John Cena's part in there.
Yes.
in there because he plays an entertainer, and I will explain what he does and everything. But it's not graphic as far as visual.
There's a lot
but
of
it's
cussing.
it's a lot of cussing, and the graphic, the visual, the verbal that he talks about is more graphic. That's what it is.
All
it's
right.
graphic as far as what
That's
he
John
says.
Cena.
And so the cussing and the sexual language is what is there.
Yeah.
That's about it. So it's all depending on what you're, again, as I always say, depends on how comfortable you are doing that. Some people don't, can't stand that, and they don't want to watch it. They don't want that in their ears. I get it. I do reviews for a living. I'm part of my living, and so that's something that I see, and I can just block a lot of it out. So, but the movie is a comedy, and I love Zac Efron. I think he's awesome, and John Cena. Most of the time, I like him. He's pretty funny. He's in comedy. When he started doing some comedy, he really hit it big. He's got very good.
Okay, John Cena, Peacemaker. I had to remember the name.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He was in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah. But then he had the Max, it was on Max.
Yeah.
The series Peacemaker, and yes, he has a filthy mouth.
Yeah, and it's not just cuss words with him on the movie, but that's just that.
Mm-hmm.
So they hire him, and things, they're trying to take care of everything that happens, but everything just kind of is one of those entangled things, oh, what a way, tangled web we weave, first we practice to deceive. It's all of that. So it just unfolds that way. Yeah. It's a funny movie, but it doesn't, it takes a little while it's like the funny is every now and then. It's not like rip-roaring funny all the way to the beginning. The first part is shocking but funny with the house. But as it goes through, it just takes a little while for the funny to get there. It's more of okay, these guys are doing this and they're going out partying because and they're telling their wives that their friend is sick, all this stuff. Wasn't funny. But as it gets on with the untangling of everything and them trying to cover up everything, that part became funny. Okay. So there was a lot of funny parts in it after that, and the most important part, it's got a really great lesson in it at the end. So I thought that was kind of cool to unwrap that to talk about more honesty. Okay. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. But like I said, there is a lot of cussing to get through on it, a lot of mature stuff. So, if you are an adult and you don't mind that, you're going to enjoy this movie. If you're an adult and you don't like seeing that and you want to stick to old Disney, because new Disney is getting that way right now.
Disney did this?
No. I'm just saying, if you like old Disney because you want to stick to that and very friendly, kid friendly and family friendly, then avoid this movie. But this does have a lot of cussing in it, and it is funny, and it does have a really good lesson at the end. Okay. So when we talk about rating, I'll get that out of the way, and then we'll do the questions. But I'll be rating on this. I don't give it that strong of a rating, just mainly because it was for a comedy and for Zac Efron comedy. I thought it was slow to get the comedy going. So I'd give this more of a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, well, with the ratings and stuff. Yeah. Do you remember a movie out of the 80s and it was it was about an imaginary character. And Drop Dead Fred.
Drop Dead Fred. Yeah.
Did it have any vibes of Drop Dead? Especially the Nicky guy.
No, because with Drop Dead Fred, the imaginary character came back and was real. Doing that. This one is not so much that way. Okay. It's not like blatant. It's more of a. They had this hall pass to blame this one person that none of their families ever did.
Blame it on Nicky.
That's really all it is.
Okay.
It wasn't parallel at all to Drop Dead Fred.
Okay, now I see this was this at the movies or is it just going to be on Prime Video?
It is actually going to be on Prime Video. It actually comes out on the 7th. Yes, coming up in just a few days.
Okay. Oh, we got ahead of one.
Yes.
What do you know? Okay, let's talk a little bit about the character or the actors. Now, John Cena, we already mentioned.
Yes.
Cena wasn't he a wrestler?
Yes, he was a wrestler. You can't see me.
Yeah, you can't see me, yeah. Okay, so he was one of those wrestlers, but then he turns actor.
Yeah.
Peacemaker was something else. The Suicide Squad. He was in the second Suicide Squad, I remember for sure.
Yeah.
And then he had the series on,
Was it
I think it was
HBO
Max.
Yeah, I think so.
HBO Max. Anyway, and yes, that was, okay. Yeah, it wasn't nudity, but it was dirty.
Yeah,
talk.
it wasn't a bad
yeah.
show, but it was just, it was just a lot of cussing in that too.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bad show.
And well, with any of those movies like Suicide Squad, the second, and then that, they really over exaggerate things, like blow their head off or something like that. I'm sure you didn't see the violence like that in this one. This was a different flavor, but you didn't talk bad about that. I did see that Farley did this.
Yeah.
Peter Farley did this, and they actually invited Jim Carrey into this. He never came.
Yeah, he's kind of in a different world nowadays. He's kind of he's more serious, and he doesn't want to do a lot of other things, but he's kind of I think he's kind of slowly kind of going to be walking away from Hollywood soon.
Yeah,
that's what my feel is on Carrey.
Okay, so Peter, is he one of the Farley brothers? I'm trying to remember the movies that they did. Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Yes, he was a Jim Carrey flavor. Shallow Hell, myself and Irene. There's Something About Mary.
Yeah.
So that's the Farley guy.
As this one goes, it doesn't. Excuse, if you've seen There's Something About Mary, it gets very adult stuff there too.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't go to the excess that Something About Mary did, but it does close to there. So, and then and Farley. I've always liked the Farley brothers.
They're funny. That Dumb and Dumber was
was hilarious.
Yeah, William H. Macy, is he still alive?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, he is, and he's actually really good in this. But he plays his boss. They're a couple of their boss for them. So
yeah, I saw that. How old is this dude? He's in the 50s.
No, he's got to be like
73 years old.
Yeah.
And he's married to the one that went to prison.
She was in Desperate. No, not wrong one.
Oh,
She was in Desperate Housewives. He's married to one of the Desperate Housewives.
Felicity Huffman.
Yeah, Huffman.
Okay, no, that's different. Okay.
Yeah, she's a wonderful lady. I like her. She was. They're married. I've never thought that they looked right together. Because he's like so short. She's tall. She's beautiful. He's not. But
he starred in a lot of. I'm just trying to write. There's a lot of stuff he starred in with Macy.
Oh, Macy's been around forever.
Yeah, he's been around forever. He's
one of my favorite movies that he did was a comedy that I can't remember. I think it was. Can't remember it now, but it was like where it was Ben Stiller and everywhere where they had like very odd powers.
Okay.
Ben Stiller didn't have any. He was just an angry guy, and then they had
Mystery Men.
Mystery Men, yeah. And they, so
that's scary that I remember stuff like that.
That was actually funny, and Macy was really good in that.
Yeah,
but I've always liked
a crazy guy.
I've always liked him.
And here's our connection tonight with the two movies: is the Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
Zac Efron played on The Greatest.
That is very true. So all three of them are connected because there's two of them from the other one.
Yeah.
That is a good connection.
The Greatest Showman, man. He's a good actor. How was he in this one?
Zac is good in this one, but I like Zac in just about anything. I think he's a great actor. I think he's got versatility. He does great comedy. He does drama.
Yeah.
He sings. I really like him, and he's come a long way from High School Musical, become a pretty big heartthrob basically right now. But I think he does a great job in this. The acting's not a problem. I don't have a problem with the acting, the comedy in there. None of that's a problem. They all did a good job. I just think that the writing could have been a little bit better to have more comedy in it. If you're billed as this rip-roaring comedy, I want to see a lot of comedy all the way through there.
You see, from when you're coming from Farley, when I see a movie like Dumb and Dumber,
Yeah.
it wasn't filthy. It wasn't disgusting.
No.
It had some, you know, I mean, the guy, you know, sitting on the toilet, whatever. I mean, on Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite scenes that I thought I laughed for about 10 minutes was when Jim Carrey and what was the other's name? Jeff Daniels. They were driving in the freezing cold on that thing, and he said, "I got to go to the bathroom." He said, "Just go." And he said, "Oh, that's warm." I almost died. Anyway. But he has a lot of, I mean, good comedy.
Yeah.
But then okay.
But you know, I think there's something.
There's a difference in
it,
people cussing.
Yeah.
You can hear that all the time. But and then talking dirty. It's dirty talk.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that's the shocker of this one is that there's the rant that John Cena does is really adult and very, very not visual, but it gets you that visual in your head on what he's talking about. But so it's one of those things that part of it, and it's a small part of the movie because it's just him in Vegas and he's an entertainer there. Mm-hmm. So they show him on stage for maybe 5 minutes of that of the whole movie. So that part is just there.
Now, was he a comedian in Vegas or was he a singer?
He's a singer, but he sings about a certain thing. He takes songs and rewrites them to something.
Okay.
So
I don't want to ruin the.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah. Now, my wife and I watched the remake. I don't know if you want to call it a remake or the TV series, Mr. and Mrs. Smith on. I think it's on Prime or maybe it's Netflix. I'm not sure. Anyway, we were watching this, got into it about 5 or 6 episodes, and then we shut it off and wouldn't watch anymore. And the reason was the dirty talk.
Yeah.
You know, I said, we don't need to listen to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, and again, those people out there, that may not bother you.
We go, I think Christians go from here to there of kind of people they are and what they can stand. Because like I said, I know that, like I've read Stephen King books forever, but I can bypass like the cuss words and all that. It's just kind of like, same thing with movies. I just kind of, you know, it just goes past me. And I mean, I think we talked about before is the one thing that I was irritated with Poor Things. It wasn't what they did. It's just kind of didn't make sense for that character. Yeah. I didn't like what they made the second half of the movie on, but it's just one of those things that a lot of that doesn't bother me because I just kind of block it out. But I respect anybody that says I don't watch that. That's great, and that's up to you. But and I think that's the way it is. And then we all have our moments, our limits that we can go. Yeah, that's enough. I'm not going to see that. I won't do that. You know, I don't like super violent movies. You know, violence
or the bloody. I mean, almost to the point of psychotic violence. Yeah, I remember watching one of the other ones that I absolutely hated, and I didn't watch that except on video. No, I think I went to the movie theater, but I didn't watch it all the way through. And I can't remember the name of it. I just didn't know it's about 2 serial killers that are just kind of going around killing people, just like. Oh goodness! Was that? Was that Woody Harrelson?
Yes, it's Woody Harrelson, Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers.
And to tell you the truth, that one turned my stomach. That one.
Yeah, I never watched that.
It was disgusting, and then not just because they were killing. Because I've seen movies like Bonnie and Clyde, stuff like that, but they're vilified. Where this one was raising these people to hero.
Well, you take like Scott or a Bundy or some Ted Bundy or a Scott Peterson, and you glorify them.
Yeah, and that's what that movie was doing. It turned my stomach. It really did. But like I said, we all have these limits where we say we're not going to cross this, and I respect everybody's limits. I don't want people to see this. That's why we make a statement each time. You kind of know your life. That's part of what I want to do is bring this out and go, I don't want you to waste your money on this if you know halfway through it you're going to go, ooh, wow, that's gross, and walk away.
Wait until it's free. No, actually, it's going to be released on Prime.
It'll be Prime on, like I said, on the 7th.
On the 7th.
Yeah.
Now, that way you can, whatever. Anyway, this is we did the podcast with Pastor Paul earlier today, and we got into a little bit of this discussion. And he says, as a pastor, he said, we don't let people know what we watch in our home.
Yeah.
And I was intrigued.
Yeah.
Is because, first of all, it can go two different ways. People can say, well, you're a pastor, why are you watching this? Or whatever, because if their convictions or whatever their attitude, or else they feel that that gives them license to do something and watch something.
Yeah.
Well, pastor's doing it, so I can. That type of thing. He says that way because everybody has to, that old saying, you got to work out your own salvation.
Exactly.
Exactly. That type of thing. And the thing is that, like I said, Adina, we were watching that show and I thought it was pretty good, Forget the 5th episode, get a 6th or something like that. They want to start graphically talking about some things.
Yeah.
And I said, shut it off. I don't want to listen to that. We didn't want to watch it.
And I think what the main thing is like anything in life. Mm-hmm. I remember one of the things that I watched somebody, a speaker talking about, and he was just really had me in the palm of his hand.
Okay.
Until one thing he said was he had gone out to dinner with a friend of his, and his friend ordered a glass of red wine.
Yeah.
And he said, why are you ordering that? He said, well, my doctor said with my heart issues that a glass of wine every night will help my heart. And the guy said, well, I can't be seen with you because you're drinking. And at that moment, it didn't matter what he said beforehand. I'm just like going, that's wrong.
Yeah.
And I get,
yeah,
I get that he was a pastor. I get all that. And maybe if he said, I can't have a glass of wine with you because, I've got a reputation. Okay, I get it. But not to be around a friend that ordered a glass of wine, I was like, well, that's hypocritical. And, and I know that, you read the Bible, Jesus turned the water into wine. Jesus sat with people. Yeah. He sat with people that Mary Magdalene. He sat with people all the time. He wasn't afraid to be seen with people.
Yeah.
Now he was giving them the word, and I get that, but he wasn't, and he told them what they were doing wrong.
Yeah.
But when you start looking at things like that, something like that is just to me, it just kind of brings me out of that.
I'm lack to understand what scripture verse tells us to impose our morality, our feelings upon other people. Exactly. Now, it's in the Bible. I mean, if it's clear that it's wrong, it's wrong. But to watch a movie and say, well, you're just ignoring it, it's kind of reminded, this is hilarious. So when I was a teenager, my mom, we went out, she'd take me, we'd go out to movies.
Yeah.
But the thing is that she would get the movie reviews from one of her friends. And she said, well, she asked her, said, well, I was thinking about going to see Taxi Driver,
yeah.
Okay? And she said, how was it? Oh, it was okay. There's no problem. Come to find out, this lady would fall asleep right at and sleep through the whole movie.
Yeah.
And so she brings me into the movie. I don't know, I'm in my early teens, right? So we go into the movie house, we're watching this movie. And Taxi Driver was hard.
Oh,
so she'd have to sign me in.
Very hard from back then, too.
All right.
Yeah.
And so we're over here in the movie house, and all of a sudden, here comes the part with Sybil Shepherd and De Niro taking her to the movie house. I think you understand what I'm saying. My mom said, Steve, go get some popcorn. Go get some, here's some money. Go get go to the bathroom, Steve. Yeah. She always was trying to push, because she all of a sudden realized that this lady was not, no. So, it's amazing, when we get recommendations from people, we want to make sure that they're awake.
We had a elderly gentleman, say elderly, at the time he was probably in his 60s.
Yeah.
And he'd come to every screening we did, and he would sit down and start watching the movie, and he'd out. And he'd snore, he'd be sitting over there, and at the end of the movie, he'd wake up and go, man, that was a great movie. And he always gave all the movie high
high ratings, man.
And it was like, he slept through everything. No, he was even more than half with him. It was like everything would just start rolling in the movie, and he was out. His wife would watch the whole thing, but he didn't. It was always funny to me. But
okay, let's listen to some of these questions. First of all, violence.
Only like fist fighting and stuff like that. There's really not violent.
Nothing too violent there. Okay, sex and nudity.
Nothing as far as sex and nudity outright. Like I said before, it's more verbal.
Verbal. Okay,
so,
the language, the dirty talk.
The language of that, yeah.
Okay, the dirty talk, the
That's
dirty
about
joke.
it. It's not. It doesn't show anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that. But that verbal is a little bit. I mean, it's pretty raunchy.
Okay. Woke check. Any preachiness?
No preachiness. They did have one of the three friends is gay.
Okay.
But it was just kind of mentioned as they go, and he was talking about his.
Did they delve into his life and say,
they didn't go into
Berman?
that. No, it was mainly just that. It was just he had a boyfriend or a husband, or I don't know what it was, but he had that relationship, and that was it. Was it. And it wasn't even going. My husband, he said, I don't remember his name, but Richard will kick me out if this comes out. Stuff like that. So it was just more of a. It was a
character place in the movie that was gay.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
They didn't like bang you over the head, go gay, and you have to accept it. They didn't do that. So
okay, came to mind. There is a new show on CBS, and they're starting it on streaming. It's called Tracker. Mm-hmm. And I guess the guys there are two ladies.
One of them's sister, his sister, yeah.
Oh, one of his is a sister? Yeah. Okay. And she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
Okay, the two of them are, but that they are, but they give him his assignments.
Yeah.
Right? And we've been watching, I watched a couple of episodes that I'm over here going, okay, how are we going to get, I haven't seen any preachiness on it.
No, it's just
placing the character.
It's just a character.
And they want you to say that that's a normal thing. Well, whatever. I mean, if you don't want to watch that, then turn it off. It's But yeah, we like. It's a good. Actually, I had a couple. Actually,
we've seen two episodes. And actually, pretty decent. I joked last night when we were watching the second episode that I was glad to see Ellen DeGeneres getting a new job again, because the one lady she looks like Ellen.
Oh, she does look like Ellen DeGeneres.
Like an older DeGeneres. But no, I have no problem with that. Look, I always say this: if you're upfront and you know what you're getting into in something, like we used to watch Will and Grace. You knew what that story was.
Yeah,
like.
there was no question about that.
And so you knew you were going into this story, and had a gay guy that was roommates with a straight woman. So you knew that was happening. Mm-hmm. But then you have Ellen DeGeneres' show called Ellen from years ago. That was so funny. It was
funny and turned preachy.
Yeah, very preachy. That second season, she came out. It was like every single episode was preach.
Yeah,
and somebody else turning straight, or gay, and somebody else, and it was, to me, it was like it lost that funny, and then it got canceled because everybody turned away, not because of that happening, not because she came out, but because the show was unfunny after that.
No, it is not funny. It's not. And that kind of preachiness, I feel, killed the Arrowverse on CW.
Yes, yeah, a lot of. I mean, when Supergirl moved to the CW, and then all of a sudden half the characters were turned gay. It's like, what do they have in the water over there at CW that's making them turn? But I don't care if the character's gay, but it's a prejudice. Look, we don't go in there and say, hey, he's a hetero. You have to accept that. And you have to do this.
Well,
live and let live, man.
Yeah, and you saw the guys that. Well, anyway, I'm not going to get into all of it. But some of the guys who do this, they must have they feel that they have a message,
Yeah,
or they have
an agenda on it.
agenda that they can
Yeah.
push, and
Yeah.
it's senseless to me. Okay, comedy. Was this even funny?
It is funny, but it starts off. It's funny at the beginning because of the situation they get into, and then it kind of goes into, like I said, when you first meet the three adults that are now grown up, it wasn't funny there, and probably for a little while, and then after the lies come to surface and all this was happening, that became funny. It was like funny things happening in through there. So that was funny. But it took a little while for the funny to happen.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't
intermittent laughs.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it wasn't. It was more serious as you went along. You know that they were deceiving their wives and all this stuff and girlfriends and everything. But it didn't really get funny till after everything started unraveling, and that actually was very funny.
Okay.
It had some really funny spots in there, laughing out loud type of funny.
Okay, build up. Okay, cool. And then, let's go ahead and I think you already mentioned it, but let's give it our reels.
Out of 10, I'm doing 6.5 on this one.
6.5,
Yeah. And the only
half a reel.
Yeah, 6.5 because, like I said, I feel like as a comedy, it's billed as comedy. I think it should have been funny all the way through. I like comedies that are funny all the way through. Spots of comedy is not. I mean, it's a good movie, but I just didn't think that it was as funny as it should have been, especially with Zach and everybody in it.
Dumb and Dumber or this one, which was funny?
Oh, Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, a lot funnier.
Hilarious. Okay. All righty. Well, Russell, thank you for the reviews tonight.
Thank you so much.
This is good stuff. All righty. Well, we'll be back, and we'll be back with some more reviews as things come out. It's nice to know that this one will get out probably in the next day, which means that you'll be reviewed before you can watch Ricky Stenicki on Prime, and then of course Dune Part 2. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, 9, huh? 9. I like it. All righty. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time on Real Perspective.